And but on Saturdays I would. It was Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays I would work at Uncle Frank's grocery store. And I mean, we'd start about 7 in the morning and go till 7, 8 at night, and I'd have to go outside and carry in eggs and then take out the groceries when they bought stuff, and then I might have to take out a block of salt, which weighed about 50 pounds, and sometimes I'd have to carry out a 100-pound sack of corn or something too. It was a variety job, and I'd have to help stock the stuff. Another lady and I were the two only really employees, and a lot of people didn't pay for their groceries right that day. We'd just keep a little tablet, and then we'd write down how much they owed, and they might come in next week and pay it, or they might just pay it at the end of the month. And some of them paid the same day, but quite a few people came in, and we just wrote their name down and how much they bought, and they'd come back and do that. And I guess we might have given them credit for some eggs they brought in, or some butter or whatever too. So it was kind of it was a variety of things we did, because we had all kind of stuff, groceries and feed and eggs and salt, block of salt for the cows, and Frances was a lady that I worked with. She was just a neat lady, and we it was some customers come in. A lot of them, of course, cigarettes were popular back in those days. Lucky Strikes and Camels and Chesterfields, and people buy cigarettes. They're probably about 20 cents a pack then, or 15, and still we had people bought chewing tobacco, but quite a few of them bought snuff. A lot of the ladies, I say a lot, some of the ladies chewed, dipped snuff. It's powder. It's almost like cinnamon, and I can't remember the brand right now, but it was in a brown bottle, and it had a cork on top, and it had a little tape over it, and I don't know what the deal was, but some of them had one notch on the bottom, some had two, some three, some four, like little just raised spots, and most people for some reason wanted the one with the 4 dots. I don't think there was any difference at all, but it seemed to sell better. And some people dipped that snuff. Or for I forget this one. Going back again, Uncle Fred. People going back to. People used to carry their tobacco in their pocket, like Bugler was a packaged tobacco, and it was kind of a soft package, and the tobacco would fall out a little bit, and you get it in your pocket. Some people would roll their own, because not too many people bought cigarettes back then. They were already rolled. They still were rolling their own because it was still cheaper. And but some people would use that Bugler or Prince Albert or whatever, and put it in their pipe and stuff it down in their pipe. And I think this was in the paper a long time ago, 75 years ago or something like that. But I'm almost positive it was Uncle Fred. They used to always carry some 22 shorts, which is 22 is, the shorts are that's why they call them short. They're very short, and they're good for shooting rats and things like that. And my understanding was that he reached in his pocket and pulled out that tobacco and put it in his pipe and kind of stuffed it all down in there, and sitting around the stove in the wintertime there, and just visiting and lit that pipe up, and all just having a good time visiting, I guess, and all of a sudden that pipe goes, that little 22 short goes off. I don't know how much it did, if it just blew the tobacco out or cracked their corn, or probably a corn cob pipe, which wasn't too sturdy. But that little shell blew up in there with the tobacco, and that was, I'm sure, a big surprise because nobody expected that. So I got off on that. I remember that. But getting back to that Uncle Frank's job, I'm gonna tell you, during football season we'd play, of course, Friday nights, and we'd kind of stay up a little late after the game, and boy, it came early that morning, and I was tired and sometimes a little bruised up, and it was a long day, and of course I tried to go out Saturday night, and I was looking at the clock, and he'd always have something for me to do, and oh gosh, and I'd get home, and we were, of course, renting the place from the Kiners for a while, and the Clazels, and looked like they were always in the bathroom every time I came home, and I think it was almost intentional. That's what Mom said, to keep down the water supply. But I always have to wait for them to get out of bath so I could take a bath, because I was dusty and sweaty, and then Mom would put me in that starched shirts, and I mean, those shirts you could almost stand them up in a corner. But we didn't have a whole lot, but we always were clean and dressed good. I mean, we dressed good as we could with the clothes we had. And I'm not saying our clothes were tattered and torn or anything like that, but we always had clean clothes, that's for sure. Mom and Dad made sure of that. So then while I'm on this line, then after I graduated from high school, I worked for McCall Sanders, and he was what they call an egg broker. He would buy and sell eggs all over, and have a guy that has a truck, a big 18-wheeler, and he would pick up eggs and ship them, take them up there somewhere, and then he'd try to bring back something else, and if he couldn't, he might went and buy a place and picked up a carload of empty beer bottles, and maybe drop them off in San Antonio or somewhere, and get money for that, so he wouldn't travel empty. And in watermelon season, he would take a bunch of watermelon up north, and then he would pick up eggs and bring them back, or take them somewhere else. And this guy would be gone a couple of weeks. And remember, there was no cell phones. He didn't have any phones. The only time they would call is if wherever he spent the night, if he didn't sleep in the truck. So we wouldn't see the guy maybe for a week, but he would keep correspondence with McCall Sanders, because he would tell him where to go pick up certain things. And McCall was real nice to me. He was very nice. He wanted me to work full-time for him, and I worked Monday through Saturdays from about 7 in the morning to about 7 at night. And he had a feed mill too, and he paid me fair, and I mean, we went to ball games together, and he really treated me nice, and I can't deny that. And his intention was to have me run the office, and which I kind of did after a while, and he'd just take care of his egg business, and I'd take care of the rest of the feed business and whatever. And I worked there during that summer, and from May till July, August, September, I guess. And I just said, man, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And it was kind of dusty there, and my asthma wasn't that bad at that point anymore, but it still bothered me, and it was just hot. And I just said, man, I just can't see doing this. And the longer I worked there, I felt, well, I would probably be more obligated to stay. And it was a good job in Weimar, really. I mean, it was a very good job. But anyway, I retired from that, and of course, I joined the service, and I'll get back to my high school days just a little bit. Got to high school in Wyoming about in the middle of my freshman year, and it was kind of a new adventure for me again because I just came out of LaGrange, and I was still pretty withdrawn about participating in anything, and I didn't participate in anything over LaGrange, particularly just trying to keep my grades up, and which, like I said before, I should have been held back, but that's history. But anyway, I came to Weimar, and I just gotten there a few days, and we had a little old library. There was just a room, and the books were in a little locked up area like with chicken wire, and they had a lock and key on them, and there wasn't many books in the library, I promise you that, but there was some. And they had the principal there was Mr. E.P. Osmond. He's an old retired, well, not, no, he was a pretty big World War II hero, and in fact he stayed in the service in the reserves and wound up being a major, just passed away a couple of years ago. And he was tough, my gosh, he was tough. But anyway, he caught me talking down in the study hall with somebody down there, and he'd come in that door, and then he said, "Boy, you're going to be in my class next year, and I'll see you there. You need to be quiet in here, but just remember this, you're going to be in my class next year." And so he kind of put the fear in me pretty good, real. That wasn't a very good start. So anyway, I made it through my remainder of my freshman year, and Mr. Moore, who I took ag with him, and he was a World War II man too, just a great guy. He's the one that Jim Sales and myself put together the Robert L. Moore Leadership Award, because he was quite a leader. He came out of service, he's about 30-something, and he worked his way up from an enlisted man. He went 2 years to school, and then he went in the service, and he, as an enlisted man, he worked his way up. He became a lieutenant, and he led some battles across Germany, and was an outstanding military man too, and he just really kind of took me under his wing. I don't know if he just felt sorry for me in a way or what, I don't know, but he just kind of did, and he started giving me assignments, like you're gonna need to help out with the poultry show, or you need to go out and help so-and-so with their project. And so he started getting me involved, and gosh dog, I mean, I was in over my head, but he kept pushing me, and it kind of built a little confidence in me, and like I said, he just had so much patience with me, and he was good to everybody. But